When we think of bank robberies, the image that usually comes to mind is a crew storming into a bank, guns drawn, and taking hostages. But some of the most daring heists in history happened under the cover of night, when the bank was closed and no one got hurt. These criminals didn't rely on brute force. They relied on precision, patience, and cunning. Today, we're going to explore some of the most audacious bank robberies that happened after hours. In 2005, one of the most unbelievable heists in history took place in Fortaleza, Brazil. A group of thieves spent 3 months digging a tunnel. Yes, a tunnel. Beneath the Banco Central. The tunnel stretched about 250 feet from a rented house to directly under the bank's vault. The gang posed as a landscaping company, quietly moving tons of dirt while keeping their true intentions hidden. Once they reached the vault, the gang broke through 3.5 feet of reinforced concrete and made off with a staggering 160 million Brazilian reais, about $70 million at the time. The best part? For them at least? The bank was closed over the weekend, so no one noticed until it was too late. By the time Monday rolled around, the crew was long gone. But despite the perfect execution, things started to unravel quickly. Police tracked down several members of the gang, thanks to extravagant purchases like luxury cars and houses. Within a year, most of the thieves were arrested, but much of the money was never recovered. To this day, around 90 million reais remain missing. Next, we travel to London, where a group of aging criminals carried out the famous Hatton Garden heist in 2015. Over the long Easter weekend, they broke into the vault of the Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Company. What's so incredible about this heist is that most of the men involved were in their 60s and 70s. In fact, they were dubbed the bad grandpas by the media. The gang bypassed the building's alarms and drilled through 2 feet of reinforced concrete to access the vault. Inside, they rifled through safety deposit boxes, stealing millions of pounds worth of cash, jewelry, and other valuables. The final haul was estimated to be around £14 million, but some reports suggest the number could be much higher. It took months for the authorities to catch up with the robbers, who were remarkably bold for their age. Several of them even boasted about their involvement to friends and family. Eventually, police used security footage and phone records to identify the men. All but one of the thieves were arrested, and although much of the loot was recovered, a significant portion remains missing. One heist that was thwarted just in time was the attempted Millennium Dome diamond robbery in London. In 2000, a gang of thieves planned to break into the Millennium Dome's exhibition space, where some of the world's most valuable diamonds were on display. Their plan? Steal £350 million worth of gems and escape by speedboat on the River Thames. The gang meticulously prepared for months, staking out the area and gathering intel. On the day of the robbery, they planned to smash through the glass and make off with the diamonds during the early morning hours, when the exhibit was closed to the public. But what they didn't know was that law enforcement had been watching them for months. The police had infiltrated the gang and were one step ahead. When the gang made their move, they were met with a full SWAT team in waiting. The heist was over before it even began. All the men were arrested on the spot, and the diamonds remained safely in their display cases. It's a rare example of authorities stopping a major heist in its tracks. And although no money was stolen, it remains one of the most infamous bank-related robberies ever attempted. Finally, we travel to Los Angeles in 1997, where the largest cash robbery in US history took place. The mastermind was Alan Pace, the regional safety inspector for the Dunbar Armored Company. Using his insider knowledge, Pace orchestrated a robbery at the company's vault when it was closed for the weekend. Pace recruited 5 of his childhood friends to help. On the night of the heist, they entered the vault, using Pace's knowledge to avoid all security measures. In less than 30 minutes, they stole $18.9 million in cash. The precision was flawless. No alarms, no witnesses, and not a single person hurt. The heist was almost perfect. But as with many audacious crimes, it was greed that led to their downfall. One of the crew members gave some of the stolen cash to a friend who later spent it without removing the original currency straps. This small mistake tipped off authorities, leading to an investigation that eventually unraveled the entire operation. Within a few years, Pace and most of his accomplices were arrested. While some of the money was recovered, a large portion of the nearly $19 million is still missing. These heists represent some of the boldest and most calculated crimes in modern history, where the thieves relied not on violence but on meticulous planning and technical skill. Although many were eventually caught, their stories continue to captivate us, reminders that sometimes the most dangerous criminals aren't the ones we see coming. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.